Lancashire Hotpot. This is a really simple lamb stew, and it's just a matter of caramelising the lamb and adding in your onion and carrot, topping it with potato and putting it in the oven for a good amount of time. And throughout that time, the lamb just becomes really nice and tender, and the carrots and onions soak up all of that lovely flavour from the stock and also from the lamb. This is a lovely, lovely dish to cook, and it's proper hearty grub. Seriously delicious. It ties in really lovely with my British pub food playlist because this is so typical of what they would serve in the British pubs. It's humble, hearty, home-cooked food. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the video and I'll show you how I do my Lancashire Hotpot. Lamb stew. I'm really happy to be cooking this today because, yeah, it's simplicity. It is so simple, and it just relies on doing a few things done well, and you get a really delicious dish. What I do first is I take some lamb and I put this in a pan, okay, and you want this with a bit of oil and you just caramelise it. You just keep cooking it until you get the colour. It's really important to get that colour on the lamb though, because colour equals flavour. So you want to get that colour on there. Once you cook the lamb through, you can add in a bit of flour. The lamb has just released quite a bit of its fat, which is great. And just to thicken this up, because we'll add stock in later on, we add flour in now, and that will naturally thicken it. A good heaped tablespoon of plain flour, and then you can add in some onion. I've just chopped this onion. I haven't done it too finely because we're going to put this in the oven for a good amount of time, so you don't want the onion too fine necessarily. Just slice through and then add that in. At this stage, the bottom of the pan is actually starting to build up a little bit with kind of residue from the flour and the onion and everything else. So what I decided to do is add a little bit of the lamb stock in. Otherwise, the bottom of the pan would actually just pick up way too much colour and become a little bit black, which you don't want. So I added in the lamb stock and then just loosened it off with my wooden spoon. That way, all of that colour becomes incorporated in the lovely Lancashire Hotpot. This is so important to do it in one pan. I think it would be a bit crazy to cook the lamb in like a frying pan and then add it into another dish. All of the flavour is there, and the beauty of just doing it in one pan is you don't lose an ounce of that flavour. Now the lamb and the onion has cooked down, you've got the flour in there to thicken it, you can add in, now this is a bit controversial, I've added in a touch of tomato puree. The people in Lancashire will be really angry at me for doing this because it's not traditional, but I've added in tomato puree just to add a little bit of richness, okay, and just to give it a slightly different flavour, which I think will really complement the dish. I also add in Worcestershire sauce. This has a really nice twang to it, and it's just going to add another dimension, another level of flavour. I also add in some bay leaves and some roughly chopped rosemary. Give this a really good stir, and then add in some chunky carrot as well. So this onion, carrot, I've chopped quite roughly. This has been cooking on the stove for about 25 minutes. It's taken that amount of time to get the colour on the lamb, and then adding in the onions and all of those other ingredients, it actually takes time for the heat to build up in the pan and for you to get the necessary flavour that you want. Once you've got to this stage, the final bit is potatoes. Peeled them and I just chopped them up quite roughly, lengthways, so this can go on the top of the Lancashire Hotpot. And what I do is I take each potato and I just overlap. I start from the edge and I work in, okay, so I just gently overlap all of that until you reach the middle. Once you've got a really good layer of potato, you don't just have to have one layer, you can double it up a little bit if you want. I brush on a really good amount of melted butter, and this will add to the caramelisation and giving those lovely potatoes some great flavour. I generously season this as well. Good amount of pepper, a nice amount of rock salt. That will really add some great flavour to those potatoes. I put my lid on and I put it into a preheated oven of 160 degrees. This lamb, onion and carrot and stock, everything can cook for a really good amount of time. The longer you cook it, the better the flavour. Put it in the oven, leave it alone for a couple of hours on 160. Towards the end, you can take the lid off and turn up the oven just to get a nice amount of colour on top. There we are, my Lancashire Hotpot. What did you think? I do like traditional food, but on the other hand, I think you can personalise it to your palate a little bit. And if you like tomato puree, or I don't know, you like more herbs, you want to put thyme in there, you want to put a little bit more seasoning, you want to put Dijon mustard, then why not? Classically, it's all about the onion, the carrot, the potato, the lamb. Cook it really nice and gently so it becomes very tender, and quite simple seasonings. But you know what, if you like it a certain way, you can change it up and do whatever you want, just so you enjoy it the most. I think it's all about getting it in the oven early. You could do this in a slow cooker as well, whack it under the grill, hot oven, just to crisp up the potatoes. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. If you do like the video, hit that like button. It really helps promote my video a bit more on YouTube. And if you haven't done this already, why not subscribe for new exciting food recipes I'm posting every week. And thank you so much, fellow foodies, for watching it. I really appreciate the support. Hope you're enjoying the British pub food series. Why not drop a comment and tell me what you want me to cook in British pub food. And until next time, happy cooking.